Today, I'd like to show you how to create the eye of a dragon. Dragons are awesome creatures. They represent strength, power, wisdom, even magic. And there's no part more expressive than an eye. So we're gonna create a dragon eye. Let's get started. First, we're going to create a nice big eye on our paper, and eyes, or dragon eyes, tend to be slanted. So I'm gonna have one corner here and one corner up here. I'll just use a curved line to connect those two dots, and another curved line for the bottom. Next, we're going to create some lines around the eye that kind of represent both the eyelids and some areas that we can add some scales. So I'll start here. I'll just make a curved line up. It's kind of parallel with the first. I'll add a few more of those lines, some with small spaces, so that means the lines are close together, and then some with some bigger areas in between the lines. That'll make it a little bit more interesting to have some spaces with big areas and some that are closer together. Now I'm going to create my pupil. Snakes and other reptiles tend to have eyes that have these kind of interesting football shapes. It could be a little rounded or pointy. I might even add a shape to look like a highlight. And now I'm ready for some scales. I'm going to create some different types of scales in each section. So you can create scales that use repetitive shapes or lines. For example, maybe in this small area, I'll just draw circles over and over again. Maybe in the line above it, I'll create some lines that repeat. Here, perhaps I'll create a zigzag line. Of course, maybe I can add some shapes that look kind of spiky. With my eye drawing complete, now I'm ready to start coloring my picture. And I'm going to choose colors that are near each other on the color wheel. Those are called analogous colors. So that means I think I'm going to use green, dark green, blue, and maybe a little bit of purple. So these are all colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So maybe I'll start with this section here. I'm going to choose my lightest color, green, and I'm going to place it down on the table. I'm going to use my thumb and my third finger to hold the pencil, and I'm going to put my second finger right on that tip. Now, I'm going to just color this one section in right here with the color that I've chosen. If I press hard, the color will look darker. If I press lightly, it will look light. Now I'm going to choose a darker color, and I want to make these scales look a little three-dimensional. So I'm going to put a shadow in each scale. So what that means is I'm going to choose a portion of the scale. In this case, I'm going to do the right-hand side. And for each scale, I'm just going to make some lines or kind of add some value there. And I think I'd like that to stand out from the background or the areas around those shapes. So I'm going to color those shapes in with a darker value as well. I might want this green color to be a little bit brighter, so I'm going to add a layer of yellow in the light spots. For each section of scales, I'm going to use maybe 2 or 3 colors from my chosen color scheme to color those scales in. So perhaps for this area, maybe this area will be more blue, and I'll use the dark blue for shadows. So I'll start with the same steps. I love how these spikes are really starting to look three-dimensional with the shadow. I'm going to add a medium blue next to the dark blue. And then I might even add a little bit of white at the very top of each spike. Kind of blends with the blue that's already there. Really adds that highlight effect. I'm going to try a similar effect in this area where I colored all the scales with a light green, and everywhere where the two scales are next to each other, there's a little kind of pointy space that I'm going to color in with my dark green. It makes it look like it's overlapping. I've spent some time filling in each section of my dragon eye with a different pattern, using colors that were all in the same color family, analogous colors. For each section, I also tried to use at least 2, 3, or 4 colors. It takes concentration and perseverance, but the end results look really great. So now that I've finished the different scales, I'm ready to actually color the eye. And I want to make it look three-dimensional. I'm going to add some shading. So I'd like to show you how to do that. The pupil could be black, or it could be another dark color, or maybe a dark color mixed with black. I'm pushing hard so that the color is really thick and really black, really dark. Let's see what happens if I add another dark color like purple into the black. I'm kind of filling in any white spaces that I still see. I like the way that looks. Now, I need to choose another 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. I might choose yellow, orange, and perhaps a little bit of red to create the illusion of an eyeball, to make it look three-dimensional. So I'll start coloring the entire eye with a light yellow color. I'm not pushing hard because I want it to look fairly light. Now, next to the light yellow, I'm going to add a little bit of darker yellow, and I can make it darker just by pushing a little harder. I want it to gradually blend from light yellow to dark yellow. So there's no lines that separate the sections. I just want it to kind of blend, going from light to dark. As I move away from the center of the eye, I'm going to change to my orange and start adding some light orange. From light orange to dark orange. I really like that. I'll do the same thing to the other side of the eye.